Hello there and welcome to this week's episode of Eye on Port, proudly brought to you by Ghana Community Network Services, also Star Assurance offering you customized solution, and West Blue Consulting, also Ghana Oil Company Limited, our new entrant, and Ghana Oil Company Limited offers you good energy with smiles. So get to any Goil filling station, get your fuel, and I'm sure that you're going to be beaming with a lot of smiles. Goil is proud to be associated with Iron Port. Folks, this week we're going to concentrate on unmanifested vehicles that come into this country. A number of importers bring in vehicles into this country and decide not to put it on record that they are bringing these vehicles into this country, just to run away from paying the right duties for those vehicles. Over the few weeks, Customs has been impounding some of such vehicles. One of them is this AUDI S5. Take a listen.
Officials of the Customs Division of the Ghana Revenue Authority in Tema have seized an AUDI S5 saloon car, which was concealed in a 20-footer container, ostensibly to outwit customs officials at the port of Tema in order to escape paying the required duties for the luxurious car.
In the normal circumstances, this should have been an outright seizure.
Okay.
We should put a seizure notice.
It wasn't
on
manifested.
It wasn't manifested.
So there was some intention, evil intention.
Very much.
Yeah.
Very much evil intention.
The car was first placed in the container and all sides covered and filled with used mattresses, used hospital pillows, teddy bears, baby car seaters, kids' bicycles, and a host of other household items. The Chief Revenue Officer Preventive at Customs said his outfit received intelligence and acted appropriately. He said such practices were rife 6 years ago, but due to the vigilance of officers, the numbers have reduced drastically.
It used to be rampant some years back, but of late it's come down.
The Chief Revenue Officer Preventive at Customs advised importers to desist or be prepared to face the full rigors of the law.
I want to advise that the preventive sections have been reorganized. We are now policing every transaction that happens in the port, and so we are on the ground. Whatever happens, we know, and we will make sure they pay the right duties to the state.
He said the car may be auctioned or allocated, whilst the clearing agent could be banned for a period of time.
Anytime such incidents happen, we only have to seize the goods and continue to prosecute the culprit.
Well, so there's a strong warning coming from Customs, also strong warning coming from the Port Authority, that all those who have been bringing in these cars, not manifesting them, not putting them on record so that they pay the right duties. See, there's a lot of caution for you, and the folks in the port say they are not going to leave any stone unturned. So a lot of things are happening. A lot of measures are being put in place. We sat down with the manager for the Golden Jubilee Terminal, and this is where we are standing right now, because this is where all cars, containers containing vehicles come, so that they are devanned. The vehicles are taken out of the containers. This is where they come. So we sat down with the manager at this terminal to find out what at all motivate people to not document or manifest the vehicles, sometimes very luxurious vehicles they bring into this country. How often do we hear cases like this in the port?
At Golden Jubilee Terminal, we handle all containerized vehicles. So we are privy to some of these unmanifested vehicles that are passing through the ports. In this year alone, we have had about 34 occurrences.
I see 34 cars that
were not manifested. Let me make this point that there are various reasons for vehicles to be termed as unmanifested.
Okay.
One can be a genuine error by the shipper not to document it in the manifest. And in that case, if you ask for the bill of lading, it is likely to be on the bill of lading. There is another instance where these vehicles are stolen vehicles, and for that matter, it's intentional for the consignee not to manifest it at all.
Yeah.
And then there is the third case where the consignee would deliberately not manifest these vehicles because
even though it's not stolen.
Even though it's not stolen, they will not manifest it because they don't want to pay taxes for them. I mean the normal duties.
Yeah.
They don't want to pay normal duties, so they will not manifest it at all. And then they will try to pass it through the system. If nobody gets to see, they are gone.
Yeah.
If we get them, then what they do is that they go back through the shipping line to correct the manifest, and then they can now come to clear. So these are some of the instances of these unmanifested vehicles that are passing through the port.
And how do they go back to the shipping lines to correct the manifest? So that way they say that they forgot or what?
Yes, they can just say it was a mistake from the shipper, because when they get the shipping line, and they would report that, oh, apparently their vehicle have come through and it's not in the manifest. Then the line would have to relate with the shipper, and then the shipper normal circumstances are not error, and then they get it corrected by inputting it into the new manifest and then sending it back to
the right duties and all that.
But
if you had not seen it, then they would have gone with it without paying the duties.
Obviously, if we don't see them, then they'll go with it. And let me say that sometimes the custom officers on the terminal are able to see it through their examination, and sometimes the terminal operators, we are also able to see some. When it comes to the unmanifested vehicles, as you had that instance in the port.
Yes, with the ODS 5.
With the ODS 5. We have also experienced such cases.
I see.
The containers were destined to be door to door, whereby they don't bring everything out, they don't stuff everything, but then a level of examination is done by the custom officers. Then the rest of the cargo is put back in the container, and they leave with the container.
And what's often the door-to-door container? Is it the one that contains most of these domestic items and all of that?
Yes, we have the domestic items. We do have some that have vehicles in them, which have been declared to have vehicles with them. But what happens is that naturally would have to bring that vehicle out, because custom will have to do thorough examination on the vehicle. So we'll bring the vehicle out, and then the rest of the general goods or personal effects will be put back in the container, but the vehicle will be examined thoroughly, and then it will have to drive out of the terminal.
So then what is a door-to-door, for those who don't understand? When you say a container is a door-to-door container, in this case, what is it? Yeah,
a container is a door-to-door container when it's been consigned to be delivered at the consignee's premises. Okay. It can be the factory, it can be the warehouse. So literally put as let everything be intact until I receive where I have indicated at the address that I have indicated that I want to receive the cargo.
And that's the whole container?
That's the whole container going to
the shipper?
Yes.
Okay, but do you inspect those containers?
We do, and that's what I was trying to explain, that the customs have a way of examining those containers, and what we do as a terminal is that we position them, make it available for customs to decide on the level of examination to be done. If it's a physical examination they are going to do on such a container, normally what they do is they get the terminal operator to bring a few of the packages out, and then they assure, okay, the good description as it is on the
so it could be just the half or maybe a quarter outside.
Yes.
Then the remaining one.
The remaining is in there, and then when they are satisfied, then we pack it back, and then they take away. There is also another form, which is the scan, and if it's going door to door and it has to go through the scanner, then it is better for all of us. In the wisdom of the major stakeholders, the Port Authority and Customs and National Security, Golden Jubilee has been declared to be the only terminal to handle containerized vehicles. Okay. So all things being equal, so long as the consignee have declared that there is a vehicle in the container, then
come to
obviously, but the issue is the custom examination officers may have to start using the images and analysis report of these scanned containers as the basis for examining all the door-to-door containers.
Okay.
Currently,
That has not been done.
no, as much as I know, currently the practice is that they would normally go for these images and its report if the container is destined for scan. But if it's a door-to-door and it's for physical examination, they may only go for the scan reports if there is any hints that there's something in there. Then they want to go for the scan reports and the images. But if otherwise they do the physical, where we bring a few of the packages out, and then when they are satisfied.
So how do you ensure that customs agree to this proposal you're putting across?
Well, we have a very good working relationship with customs on the terminal, and I think in the whole port community we all have a very good working relationship with customs. So it shouldn't be difficult for the port authority to sit with customs and to suggest that we may have to use the scan images and reports for all the door-to-door examination containers. Now, if we actually had the capacity, then I would even suggest that all door-to-door containers should go through the scan. Yes, if we had the capacity.
That I think that it's so necessary that we scan virtually every item, because people can conceal not necessarily vehicles, even other items that can be dangerous in the containers that are meant for door-to-door.
Yes, the port authority has been working hard at getting to the point where all these things will be off, and that is why they had to increase the scanner and dedicate one for all the ICD containers. Now the port is working towards moving all the delivery activities from the port to the ICDs, and there has also been some discussions that all the ICDs should think of having a scanner on their terminals, and so this is a major step where we have one in the port scanning before we come, and if we are able to get to the point where all the delivery activities are no more in the port, it means that all the containers will be scanned anyway. So once they are scanned before they come to the ICDs, then we have solved that problem. So I know we'll get there. You may want to say when. It's like you said, it's so important that we do so.
Sometimes you watch even National Geographics, you watch some foreign networks, and they begin to mention West African countries where vehicles are stolen from the Western countries and brought to, and you hear the name of Ghana, your heart beats and bleeds for that matter. So you want to see all the loopholes closed as much as possible. That's why my next question was going to be, when can we take action?
It's a process, but it will not be long. We are getting our transit terminal ready. We are almost ready actually, and hoping to move the transit divining activities from the port to that place. And then once we are done with that, Terminal 1 especially, we will not have to deliver containers from there. We will only be serving the ICDs from there. Then we'll be left with the containers that are delivered from MPS. And some of those ones already goes through the scan. And so what we can do is that if the Terminal 1 delivery activities are out of the port, then maybe customs would have to come up with the rule that then all door-to-door containers coming out of MPS would have to go through the scan, by which time we have 2 scanners available to handle only the MPS ones, whilst the Terminal 1 containers will be moving through the scan already before they come to the ICDs.
And then maybe customs would also have to take the bold step and start making it a rule that they use the images from the scan
and
instead of relying
reports,
on
the physical examination
and their discretion and whatever it is, because as soon as an officer is compromised, it means that some of these things can run through so easily.
One other characteristics of this kind of thing concerning the vehicles is the wrong chassis thing, and that's also a whole big topic. It's a whole area where the consignees would use to beat the system.
I see how they give a different chassis number for
from what is
car.
On the body of the car.
I see.
Yes, they do that.
So
and
for instance, a four-wheel drive, they can give the chassis number of a smaller car,
and they can pay smaller duties, and that is actually on the increase. For this year alone, we have 543 of such vehicles.
Wow.
Yeah, some are just little typographical mistake, maybe a figure, a letter, that kind of thing. But majority of them, you can clearly see that it is for a purpose.
How can we work at ensuring that chassis numbers for that belong to a particular vehicle is the right one that the consignee is submitting?
At Golden Jubilee Terminal, we are able to do that because immediately the vehicles are brought out of the container, we condition it and take note of the real chassis number on the body of the vehicle, and then customs are also able to detect. They have a marker, an officer who is in charge of vehicles, who actually also have to inspect physically the chassis on the body and then the one on the documents, the declaration that they have done. So with this we are able to tell, but somehow sometimes the custom declaration is having the wrong chassis, but the process will go through, and then when they get to us, trust me, you cannot go through. Okay. And that is where they bash us.
They will buy
and say that, are you custom officer?
You are being too vigilant.
Yeah.
But that means that you're also sending a signal to them that the Port Authority is well alert and you are ready for them, whoever is trying to be the system. They can't do that past you.
Yes, and that is why it was declared that all containerized vehicles should pass through the Golden Jubilee Terminal, where the terminal is for the Port Authority, and the stakeholders can be rest assured that we will make sure that no such vehicles go out. We should all try to be honest enough. We should be honest with what we are doing. Sometimes you have conversation with the importers who come around to clear their cargo, and they give you the impression that some clearing and forwarding agents are able to guide them to do the wrong things. You see, the agent will tell them, okay, don't really state the capacity of the vehicle on your manifest so that we can beat the duty down. Don't do this, do that. Some agents also try to guide the importers to do the wrong thing, and so I would advise such agents also to desist from that, because sometimes it lands the importers into trouble. They come, and then some of these things, they seize the vehicles, and then a whole lot of problems. And then I would also advise my colleague custom officers who are doing the examinations to be more vigilant and thorough, and if also we take on board the fact that once the containers come into the ICDs are scanned, every door-to-door container, they should use the images and the reports, the analysis reports of the scan, to form a basis to do the physical examination. I think that it will go a long way. And then the terminal operators should also be vigilant. At Jubilee Terminal, we are very vigilant, and sometimes the agents would want to ask you, are you the customs examination officer? If the customs officer is okay, why would you want to, but we are very interested. We are here as a terminal, 100% government owned. We have to take every pessoa for the government, for GPHA, for customs and everybody. We are citizens of the nation and we have to ensure that the right thing is done.
We're going to go for a quick break. When we return, the Director General of the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority is briefing Ship Owners and Agents Association on some of the new things that are happening in the port, including how to deal with people who bring in vehicles without manifesting them. Right after the break.
And there's something about the way your love shines on my face. Oh no, I can never get enough of you.
Star Assurance, creating smiles since 1985. Let go. Let's celebrate 30 years of solid partnership. Star Assurance, your solid partner.
I'll take care of you.
Every time you think of importing goods into Ghana, know that there is a competent team of world-class personnel to cater to your trade needs. Know that there is a help desk you can call with your queries. Know that you can speed up the process of clearing your goods with customs long before they arrive in Ghana. Remember that CCVR, which used to take several days, now only takes 48 hours through the new Customs Pre-Arrival Assessment Reporting System known as PASS. Remember that our staff all over the nation is waiting to serve you. Remember that PASS makes imports into Ghana faster, simpler, safer and easier. Ghana Revenue Authority, committed to serving you better.
Welcome back from the break. Still watching Eye on Port, and coming up next, the Director General of the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority is advising all shipping owners and agents to advise their members to ensure proper documentation as far as importing and exporting is concerned. Also, the Deputy Agricultural Minister is also advising folks who import agri products, for instance, and frozen foods and all of that, to ensure proper documentation. And she did this whilst inspecting the new reefer yard that has been constructed in the port. All of that coming up in the news and activities happening in and around the port.
The Director General of the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority (GPHA), Richard Anamo, is urging ship owners and agents to submit accurate manifest data to the Port Authority. This, according to him, will ensure the attainment of relevant information to aid the clearance of goods at the port. The DG was sensitizing members of SOAG on new developments currently being undertaken by the Port Authority.
The information coming on the manifests emanates from the Port of Loading. And when they get here, we don't have the authority to change, amend, or do anything to the information on the manifests. We can't do that because that's what the shipper says put there. Can GPHA also develop a system like that that can capture some item that will come unmanifested?
Any activity that we do, which is at the seaside and the quayside, affects productivity. That's number one. The second point is that you then likely to introduce errors. For example, a vehicle is there, the vehicle has come, it has no engine number, there's no chassis number, so it means our people have to go inside and read that number and feed it in. The question is, if there's an error, who's responsible?
He hinted that processes of discharging cargo from vessels and loading of cargoes are all being automated to enhance ease of doing business.
To be from the anchorage, the vessel, the movement, everything, quayside, loading, discharge, holding, handling, and everything, all is going to be done by electronic computer.
He said the Port Authority will also be implementing the IMO regulation on verified gross mass of containers, hence the need for the shipping lines to adhere strictly.
As an authority, we are taking the position that we think that before the container enters the ports, we must run the weights and transmit that information electronically to the shipping line.
Representatives of SOLAC pledged their commitment to collaborate with the authority in its development.
We have a fantastic relationship, and the bottom line is we should work towards improving productivity and efficiency in Ghana ports.
Meanwhile, shipping lines operating in the port of Tema have been schooled on the proposed terminal operating system, TORS, which refers to the electronic process of identifying and moving cargoes from the vessels to the final destination.
Let us have the structure of the vessel. If it's mixed cargo, fine. One part, you could have the structure, the other part will be general cargo. We will not need to we will not need the bay plan. But if it's a containerized cargo, we would need the bay plan.
The terminal operating system TORS, which is expected to be fully operational in April, forms a key part of the GPHA's e-port agenda that will ensure controlled carting, storage and transporting of both containerized and general goods in the port.
Without verification of the weight of containers properly certified, your containers will not be acceptable in the port for loading on vessels. That is for shipment. Export containers will not be acceptable in the port for loading on vessels. So the certified verification document will form part of the documents the port will be accepting at the gate.
The director of Tema Port, Jacob Adoko, noted that from 1st July, all export containers will be verified before they are loaded on vessels in line with the IMO regulation on verified gross mass of containers. The shipping lines lauded the Port Authority for the innovations introduced in the maritime industry.
Before the vessel is planned to go Tema, over let's say a month.
Yes.
So you send your structure.
Yes.
Just as the application.
Yes.
Then, before the vessel actually comes in, you come with your cargo plan, which is either your stick file or your battery file or your
that is a
play plan or whatever for it to be uploaded.
Yes.
The director of the Port of Tema, Jacob Adoko, has revealed that Tema Port will from Monday 29 February take over the delivery of all reefer containers that arrive in the country. Hitherto, 3 other terminals were made to take delivery of reefer containers due to capacity challenge, which made it difficult for effective control of illegal documentation for clearance. But the director of port believes the activities of illegal importation and falsification of documents will be stopped when Tema Port takes full delivery of all reefer containers to ensure effective control.
We were not having capacity in the past, so we gave them authority to establish reefer terminal or reefer facilities in their terminals. But now that we have the facility to handle volumes, they will close down their facility.
Jacob Adoko disclosed this when the Deputy Minister for Food and Agriculture, Hannah Bisiu, paid a courtesy on him to collaborate and fight the menace of falsification of signatures and documents of the ministry. He pledged the commitment of Tema Port to curb such practices, stressing that the new reefer terminal will ensure effective control of influx of unapproved containers into the country.
All reefer containers will now be moved to this terminal for delivery, and for that we will control the influx of unauthorized import of frozen products into the country.
Deputy Minister for Food and Agriculture Hannah Bisiu, after touring the new reefer terminal, confirmed that it will now be very difficult for unauthorized goods to enter the port.
Hitherto, it was very difficult. The place got so choked with illegal containers because everybody was dumping whatever they place their hands on. to the port, to the extent that they had to be rejecting some of these containers, but there were no places to plug them. But now there's going to be a one-stop shop. This place, all offices needed to work on documents for reefer containers to be released. They are found on this year, and your things will be scanned.
And the other one will pick.
Management of the port of Takoradi has reaffirmed commitment to ensure that the port attains its vision of becoming a world-class port in the West African sub-region. To this end, management said the first phase of the Takoradi port expansion will be completed in May so as to reduce the cost of operation in the port.
When completed, this section of the project will enable the port to handle larger bulk vessels and liquid bulk vessels and also cargo vessels, and this will eliminate the double handling situation in the port, thereby reducing the cost of operations in the port of Takoradi, which will have positive impact along the logistics chain.
Addressing the press, the acting director of Takoradi Port, Captain Ebenezer Afezi, said expansion works involving the extension of the breakwaters northwest, dredging of the access channel, a new turning basin of 500 meters radius, formation of the base of a new 800 meters bulk jetty, among other works, will be completed and handed over to the Port Authority in May 2016.
The turning basin, the access channel were all up to -14. Yeah, so now we're going to get 3 meters in addition. So a vessel of 60 meters depth now can use the access channel, can use the turning base.
The project, according to him, will enable the Ghana Ports and Harbors Authority (GPHA) to handle larger dry and liquid bulk vessels and cargoes to eliminate the double handling situation at the port. He said Parliament in January approved an amount of 160 million euros for the continuation of the expansion works currently going on at the Takoradi port.
Because now we are producing water in the port, vessels no more go to the nearby ports like Abidjan to take fresh water. Now they are assured that when they come to Port of Takoradi, they can get any quantity, any amount of fresh water they will get. So we're getting a lot of offshore supply vessels coming in to take fresh water from us.
The project manager was optimistic that the Takoradi port will soon become the toast of all vessels in the coming years.
People say, what, so much money? Where's the money? The money is right in the sea. We are dredging, deepening the port so that we can attract more vessels. Believe me, if we are able to finish this scene, all vessels will call at Takoradi port. And now we become very, very competitive in the sub-region. And I believe too, our tariff is also competitive. Our security is top-notch. And that's what every shipper wants to hear.
Swiftly, an innovative application software to optimize space in containers and cut down shipping costs for importers and exporters has been launched in Accra. The Swiftly platform makes it possible for 2 or more importers who are shipping a container to share their extra space and share cost in what is known in port terms as consolidation. The Chief Executive Officer of Irish KO, Edem Kwame Doche, assured players in the shipping industry that the Swiftly platform makes it difficult for impersonation and fraudsters.
Nobody gives his cargo to the impersonator. The way Swiftly operates is to hand over cargo to the freight forwarder. And so anybody who comes on Swiftly, we don't operate like that. You are not supposed to meet somebody on Swiftly and then hand over cargo to them. Our practice doesn't allow you to give your cargo to anybody personally.
A director of transport at the Ministry of Transport, Lawrence Kumi, said government will continue to support private sector participation in the transport and logistics sector in order to boost trade competitiveness.
I believe the introduction of Swiftly will be transformational. Experts from Ghana also have been seeing a great opportunity to export their products in such an affordable means. This is a story success story in our city that can be told to underscore the potential for us to see the transformation we are seeking.
I've got no need to worry. I've got no room for doubt. No matter what's coming at me, you'll always be the beautiful I sing about. There ain't no limitations to your amazing grace. Your amazing grace. And there's something about the way your love shines on my face. Oh no, I can never get enough of you.
Star Assurance, creating smiles since 1985. Let go. Let's celebrate 30 years of solid partnership. Star Assurance, your solid partner.
I'll take care of you.
Every time you think of importing goods into Ghana, know that there is a competent team of world-class personnel to cater to your trade needs. Know that there is a help desk you can call with your queries. Know that you can speed up the process of clearing your goods with customs long before they arrive in Ghana. Remember that CCVR, which used to take several days, now only takes 48 hours through the new Customs Pre-Arrival Assessment Reporting System known as PASS. Remember that our staff all over the nation is waiting to serve you. Remember that PASS makes imports into Ghana faster, simpler, safer and easier. Ghana Revenue Authority, committed to serving you better.
Schedules of vessels sitting in the port, those coming from Anchorage, plus those expected for the week, and the Bank of Ghana exchange rate next on your screens. Well, that's it for this week's episode of Eye on Port. I thank you so much for patronizing the program, and also the entire crew that have been making the program very possible. Robert Nyantechi, also Solomon Anderson, Joe Lavo, Godwin Kabute, Ebenezer Tewi, and Fabi Obani, as well as the executive producers, Paul Asariansa, Abna Sewa Opokufosu, and all of you who watched. Thanks for watching.